All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's live stream. How's everyone doing? Lots to talk about, like usual. Bitcoin is seemingly holding it together for the moment. We got a bunch of bullish news to discuss, a bunch of very, very interesting bull run signals. One in particular that's somewhat new that I haven't really mentioned to you guys. That's could be flashing a buy signal soon here. I kind of want to mention some catalysts, some news events, and also some on-chain indicators that could be very telling for what's to come. I want to talk about Ethereum, Polygon, Cardano, VECHAIN. Talk about some bullish divergence price targets we're seeing with that. I also want to share with you guys my top 5 picks for June. So welcome to the live stream, everyone. If you like what we do, smash that like button, really helps out the channel. And without further ado, let's delve into this. Pretty big news today with the market. If you guys follow crypto YouTube at all, I'm sure you guys have probably already seen this, but Coinbase has Apple Pay to crypto debit card. I find it really, really funny how we're seeing a bunch of positive news stories all at once, after we had a bunch of negative news stories all at once when Bitcoin was at its weakest. It's almost like whales like to coordinate FUD and drive FOMO once they've already bought in. And folks, we're seeing signs of whales having bought into the market. Now, something else that I find pretty funny is UK bank Sterling will lift crypto ban on June the 23rd. So a lot of banks throughout the world are very iffy when it comes to cryptocurrency. They see it as their competitors, rightly so. DeFi is basically a competitor to the traditional banking system. But now we're starting to see, bank after bank start to finally adopt and give in. But really, when we see something like this happen, folks, it's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's because they've accumulated enough crypto behind themselves that they now feel comfortable shilling it to the masses now that they've accumulated enough Bitcoin on the dip themselves. So while I don't know that's what happened, that is speculation. It's commonplace, folks. These investment funds, banks, they will FUD something to no end, and drive the price down by the dip, and only after they've accumulated a bunch themselves, it's now the greatest asset class in the world, and now everyone else can buy it. And here here's some service to help you buy what we already bought on the dip at much cheaper prices. So, folks, this just goes towards adoption. Adoption is just in the early stages. The American market hasn't even defined what is and isn't a security. The SEC lawsuit currently going on with Ripple Labs. Once that comes to a conclusion, the American market will have defined what constitutes a security and what isn't a security, which is extremely important because as soon as the American market has that regulatory clarity to understand what is and isn't a security, that will drive adoption hard because then companies will know what they can hold, how to report it, how to handle custody, how to taxing, a bunch of stuff. So, folks, this regulatory FUD, whenever we see regulatory FUD, it spooks the market and drives price down in the short term. But over the long term, we want that regulatory clarity because the more regulation there is, the more adoption there could be. Another reason why I love crypto is because, folks, crypto is the only asset class in the world where the retail person, the normal person like you and me, can run the banks, the institutions, the investment funds. And although they're pretty much in at this point, there are plenty of good alts and plenty of very interesting DeFi opportunities that the institutions still have not woken up to, and I can't wait to share with you guys some of the things I'm looking at. Top 5 gems. I might even share some more stuff with you because I've been biting the dip on about a dozen projects here. So yeah, with that being said, let's delve into Bitcoin. Let's see what you guys are seeing here in the chat. So Christopher says, I hit it. The like button, appreciate it. This FUD is wild. FUD is out of temp us in. Sure, man. Or just the most insane coincidence happening. Yeah, 100%. Guys, when you see all this FUD coordinated all at once when Bitcoin is at its weakest point, and now that Bitcoin's kind of bottoming out, you're seeing a bunch of positive news stories out at once, this is not coincidence, folks. This is planned. This is the oldest playbook. This happens in stocks, happens in the legacy market. We see banks, investment funds, FUD and drive the price down on an asset they want to buy themselves. They buy it up when no one else wants to touch it. And once they've bought enough, all of a sudden it's the greatest asset class in the world. And banks are coming out endorsing it. More investment funds are coming out endorsing it and providing custodial services. Isn't it funny how this stuff seems to move in cycles, guys? Now, there's a lot of interesting stuff I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is absolutely critical to understand right now, and I want to share with you guys some of the most critical things I'm seeing here with Bitcoin. And we really got to take in some of the major shifts we're seeing right now with Bitcoin. We have had a bullish crossover on the daily MACD. And I know I mentioned this before, but I'm going to keep mentioning this because this is extremely significant. Let's zoom out and try and find when was the last time the MACD was this oversold. Literally, you cannot find it. Nowhere on this chart in the entire history of Bitcoin on Coinbase was the MACD this oversold, was the momentum this to the oversold side. And we have now finally shifted our momentum from extremely oversold to now moving bullishly. And that isn't the only factor either. We're seeing confirmation of this bullish trend reversal. If we look here at the daily RSI, we were very much oversold. And what are we seeing, guys? Higher lows, higher highs on the RSI. MACD, the most oversold it's ever been, bullish crossover. Guys, this, I'm going to call it, this was a local bottom. To put it simply, I think if we dip below 30,000 again, that would be a head and shoulders, and I think the bull market's over if we dip below 30. As long as we hold the line at 30, I think this was the bottom. Now, I want to share with you guys a new indicator that I recently found that I'm still trying to fully understand, but I think I understand its significance enough to share it with you guys, which is the Bitcoin hash rate ribbons. So this indicator is basically derived by a few moving averages on the Bitcoin hash rate. It essentially means that at a certain point, miners have to sell, and so whenever they do, they sell at a loss, and that's represented by this capitulation green zone. Whenever we see these green dots, it represents capitulation in terms of miners. And also what do we see is a buy signal always after capitulation. And if we examine when was the last time we had these buy signals after capitulation, which always come after capitulation? It was here, and look what led afterwards. Okay, maybe that was just a fluke, maybe just a one-off. So we had capitulation, blue buy signal here. Maybe if I zoom out, you'll see it a bit better. Blue buy signal right here, and look what led afterwards. Blue buy signal here, look what led afterwards. Blue buy signal here, look what led afterwards. Folks, every single blue buy signal here, and look what led afterwards. Every single time we've had this, every single time, it has been at the same time where price action started to pick back up again. This is terribly uncanny. Look at this. Blue buy signal, price picks up every single time it's happened. And so what are we seeing right now here in the short term? We're getting capitulation. And what has historically come after capitulation? A buy signal. Folks, we are seeing confluence of reasons to think that the trend is shifting from bearish to bullish. And no one thing is the end all be all, but at this point we have a confluence of reasons, many different factors pointing in the same direction. The technicals are looking bullish, but it's not just the technicals. What are we seeing? We're seeing whales buy the dip. In a recent report by Chainalysis, over $3 billion worth of Bitcoin was bought during the dip. And if we take a look here at the MACD, and yes, it's the Bitcoin hash ribbons, if you guys want to look it up on TradingView for yourselves. Every time the MACD had a bullish crossover in the daily, look what happened afterwards with price action. And what happened right now is even more significant than all these times, because whenever we're in one great extreme, either extremely oversold or extremely overbought, and we have a crossover, that crossover is more significant on the extremes. So when Bitcoin is kind of near, or the momentum is kind of near the neutral point, it's not as significant, although we can see how it clearly reflects in price action. But when we're the most oversold we've ever been, and we have a bullish crossover on a macro time frame, guys, I think this was the bottom. And so no one of these factors is the end all be all, but when we start to look at all these factors all together, it starts to paint a picture for us. So let's keep looking here and trying to understand what's going on. Now, something I keep mentioning, which is very important, and so it's not all sunshine and unicorns. The hash rate, which has been a very important indicator for us, is still kind of down as of recently. Hash rate has been historically, especially recently, correlated with price action. Hash rate drops, price drops. Hash rate recovers, price recovers. Hash rate drops, price drops. Recently, we've been seeing a bit of an uptick in hash rate, but we're kind of curving down in the super near future last couple days here. We want to see this uptrend continue. If we see hash rate continue to recover and put it in a higher high here, then that's our sign that Bitcoin is ready to start moving up again. Another critical factor that we need to look out for that right now is kind of looking bearish, but it could go either way right now, is Bitcoin held on exchanges. The more Bitcoin on exchanges, the more potential selling pressure. Bitcoin on exchanges has been doing nothing but going down throughout the kind of the cycle's bull run, but as of recent, as the market's gotten more spooked, more Bitcoin on exchanges, more potential and real selling pressure. So we've been experiencing kind of a downtick, but we're back up again. So we really need to see this shift go back down. If we start to see continuation of Bitcoin leave exchanges again, that's just further confirmation that Bitcoin may have indeed bottomed out. Another very critical chart is the the crypto fear and greed index. Folks, we are treating crypto, we are not trading the stock market. We need to understand what drives crypto. And in crypto, it's not, quarterly release filings, it's not, profit and loss ratios. No, it's fear and greed and speculation that drives cryptocurrency. We don't see 100x's because of fundamentals and adoption and use case. No. Yes, that's a part of the recipe that drives, greed and speculation. But one of the biggest factors is market sentiment, because that reflects the speculation in it, and it reflects the fear and greed. And right now, the market is at a bottom when it comes to sentiment and fear. The market has been in extreme fear as of recently. The last times the market was this fearful was when the global pandemic first hit in the bottom of the previous bear market. That was the last time the market was this fearful. And every time we were this fearful, it has historically correlated with local bottoms. And so what has happened in the past is not a guarantee of what can happen in the future. But folks, we are seeing those signs. We're seeing the signs that Bitcoin may have in fact bottomed out. So, folks, we need to see continuation. If we see a shift in this trend, if the market starts to get a bit more, greedy again, that's a sign that people are ready to start buying back the dip. But who's buying the dip and who's selling the dip, folks? It's very unfortunate, but noobs and retail hands and people who've been in the market recently are selling and whales are buying. I want to share with you guys a few things that I'm looking out for. So right here, looking at this chart, we can see that long-term holders are actually beginning to accumulate Bitcoin once again, and short-term holders are the ones selling off and moving around their Bitcoin. So short-term holders are defined by holders of Bitcoin who've been holding less than 155 days, long-term holders more than 155 days. And we're starting to see that on this dip, long-term holders, whales, are starting to accumulate once again. Weak hands retail is selling, and long-term holders and whales are buying. We're seeing OTC transactions go through the roof. We're seeing, we're seeing large purchases of Bitcoin, and we're seeing long-term holders starting to buy. Also, a Canadian Bitcoin ETF here. We're starting to get more buy volume, and we're starting to accumulate more and more here. So, folks, we're seeing tons of interesting stuff. And hold on, I was just dealing with a text here. My bad, folks. If I seemed a bit distracted there for 5 seconds, I was kind of dealing with something. But enough of that, folks. Listen, few interesting goings on here. We see that people who've been holding for the long term are still continuing to buy. And if we kind of look here at the Bitcoin long-term holder net unrealized profit and loss chart, we can see that historically, whenever we've entered that blue euphoria zone with long-term holders, specifically holders who have been holding for more than 155 days, whenever we entered that blue euphoria zone, it was 2017 and the 2013-14 bull run. So 2013-14, we had a double top, and we may be experiencing something like that again, or it may, be the end of the bull run. So let's see if we can actually find this chart. And no, we can't really zoom in. Anyways, guys, bottom line is here, we're at an inflection point, and we could have two scenarios: either the end of the bull run or we could have a double top scenario. And I personally lean more towards a double top scenario. I want to share with you guys a few things that people used to kind of try and gauge how high Bitcoin could go over the long term. And one of the most famous models is the Bitcoin stock to flow ratio, which has historically done a good job of calling kind of these cycle tops and bottoms. And according to the stock to flow model, Bitcoin has a good chance of reaching over 100,000 this cycle here. All right, so we have a few reasons to think that we still have plenty of upside potential. And if you look here at the stock to flow deflection, which basically tells us, how closely are we following the stock to flow model, we can see that we're very much oversold, and we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of oversold paired with bullish fundamentals, paired with shifts in the momentum from bearish to bullish. And I want to run through a few charts that give Bitcoin more room to the upside. The Puell multiple here, historically, whenever we enter this red resistance zone, correlates with cycle tops. We never entered this zone, and in fact, this correction gives us more sustainable growth to the upside. Same here with the reserve risk chart. Enter this red resistance zone, historically correlated with cycle tops. We never entered that zone. Same here with the realized hodl ratio. Red resistance means cycle top. We never entered that zone. Same here with the market cap to thermal cap ratio. We never entered the resistance zone, and there's plenty of these indicators to look at, including the net unrealized profit and loss chart by all holders. Even if we look at this one here, just another chart that tells us we never entered this overextended, overbought zone. So what all these charts are telling us is that we still have room to the upside. And so if we examine the macro situation, the use case and the fundamentals for Bitcoin have never been better. The Americans are still printing trillions and trillions of dollars, devaluing their currency into nothingness. And Bitcoin is still an asset that's greatly in demand and that has high return on investment potential over the long term. And if we can consider those fundamentals, those long-term fundamentals that have always remained bullish, and if we look at the cycle indicators that all are telling us we still have plenty of room to the upside, and in the short term we're starting to see macro signs of going from oversold to shifting the momentum to the bullish direction, guys, I think we have reached a local bottom with Bitcoin. Now, we also have the Bitcoin Miami conference, I believe roughly a week from now, which is going to be a very bullish catalyst in my opinion, because it's just a massive propaganda event for Bitcoin. And hey, I got nothing against that. So that's a very, very bullish catalyst to look forward to here. And really, guys, if we just want to understand tangibly what Bitcoin could do here in the short term, if we go back to the price action here, really we're just forming this wedge. And based off this wedge, we have how many days before we break out? A week max. So what I'm telling with you guys right now is that within this next week, we will know what Bitcoin will do next, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish for the next couple months. In this next week, the future for the next couple months of Bitcoin will be decided. Whatever way we break out of this wedge will tell us whether we're still in a bull market or entering a bear market. For me, if we make a new lower low out there for a second, let me know if you guys can hear me. I cut out for a moment there. I think I might be back. If you guys want to let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me, that would be fantastic, so I can continue here. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, you guys can hear me? Can I get confirmation of this trend? So let me know if you guys can hear me. I cut off there for a second, but once I see a few people saying you can hear me, I'll delve right back in here. So let's see. Yep, you guys can hear me. Okay, perfect, guys. Yeah, and sorry, apologies if I seemed a bit distracted at moments there. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. I actually was a bit distracted. I was dealing with some personal stuff. But hopefully I got kind of the main points across that I wanted to get across with kind of those these charts and these news stories. Apologies if I seemed a bit distracted there, but hopefully I got my main points across and the gist across. So, guys, we see kind of like these cycle indicators telling us we have more room to the upside, and while we have some signs of some hope, ultimately we need more confirmation. If we break down below $30,000, then in that case, I think Bitcoin is forming a macro head and shoulders formation, and a breakdown below 30,000 gives us literally the target for that bearish breakdown is like 0. It's nothing for Bitcoin. So breaking below 30,000 would give us enough reasons to lean more bearish than not, that I think at that point a breakdown from 30,000 makes it more likely that we're entering a bear market. Now, if we break out bullishly, we have strong resistance at 41, 42K. So what I'm saying here is once we flip 42K from resistance into support, then in that case, I think we can breathe a sigh of relief and be a bit more confident about Bitcoin's future. So yeah, someone here says target price would be 0. And I'll show you why I say that. No, obviously that's absurd, and I don't think Bitcoin would go to 0. But the reason why I say it's 0 is because when you're trying to draw price targets for a head and shoulder, it's basically you take the bottom of the wick, so the bottom of the shoulder, and you can draw this slightly different ways, but at the end of the day, it means the same thing here. So what you do is that's your shoulder, that's your head, and this would be another shoulder. And when you're trying to gauge price targets for where we could break down, is you basically take the height of the movement, so the height the height from to the shoulder to the bottom of the neckline here, you move that to the breakout point, and so how far could we go down to? Yeah, negative $4,000 is how far we could go down to. So that obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. Our bottom line is a breakdown from our head and shoulders would be extremely bearish and would give us plenty of downside potential. So at that point, guys, I'm looking to get out of the market if we break down from 30K, at least on a substantial portion of my portfolio. So that's what I'm looking out for. With that, let's see what you guys are saying. Marco says, with all the money printing 6 trillion, no doubt bull cycle coming, super bull cycle. Guys, like, when it comes to calling bull market or bear market, what I'd like to say and what I tell you guys is at this point I'm undecided, I'm neutral. I need further confirmation to be more confident of bull market or bear market. But just to show you guys what way I'm leaning, I mean, I've been buying the dip. Like, I'm not selling. I sold my Matic Polygon because it did 100x for me. And I've been using that to buy the dip on like a dozen or so projects. So guys, like, I'm just show you what way I'm leaning. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I've been buying the dip on a shit ton of stuff. And again, guys, we've barely gotten into this live stream. I can't wait to share with you guys some of the stuff I'm buying the dip on here. Ruthwick says, isn't the target 20K in the short term? I mean, look, there's going to be plenty of short-term stops along the way. It's not going to just be a straight line down. And even if we look back at 2017, and this is another reason why I lean so bullish in the short term here, and why I do expect at the very least a relief rally. Even when the bull market was over and we were entering a bear market, we didn't just go down in a straight line. We had relief rallies all the time. Down relief rally, down relief rally, down relief rally, down relief rally. Relief rallies happen all the time. Just like we can't go up in a straight line forever, we can't go down in a straight line forever. We always have relief rallies. And so what have we seen here? Extreme move to the downside, extremely oversold, bullish momentum with the tiniest little relief rally. I think more of a relief rally is very sensible, although 41, 42K is extreme resistance, and that's the inflection point. If we can get a daily candle 2 or 3 close above 42K, then we're looking a lot better. But plenty of resistance above us, plenty of volume, plenty of EMAs, plenty of trend lines. So it's not going to be an easy ride up. So David Scar says, so if it hits below 30K, you're bearish 100%. No, not 100%. It's totally possible that we could come down below 30K, maybe go down to 27,000 where 618 Fibonacci retracement is, and then go back up. What I'm using 30K as is as an inflection point where at this time, there's reasons to be bullish, there's reasons to be bearish. I view 30K as the inflection point, as the tipping point, where if we make a new low below 30K, there would be more reasons leaning bearish than bullish. And so because I'm kind of neutral right now, dropping below 30K is the evidence that would make me start to lean more bearish. And at that point, I would say, looking at the bullish and bearish evidence, a drop below 30K would really start to make things look more bearish than bullish. So while I wouldn't say that breaking below 30K would make it 100% bear market, 100% guaranteed bear market, it would just make it significantly more likely than not that we would be entering a bear market if we break below 30K. When it comes to technical analysis, all of this is a game of probabilities. Nothing is certain when it comes to technical analysis. So if I talk about a price target, support, and resistance, just understand that my default assumption is I speak in terms of probabilities because I'm a technical analyst. When it comes to technical analysis, it's all about probabilities. What's more probable and what's less probable. And the more factors, the more indicators you have pointing in one direction, the more confident you could be of, a greater probability. But at the end of the day, there is absolutely no certainty when it comes to trading, investing, and charting. So just understand that that's how I speak. My default assumption is I speak in terms of probabilities. Christopher says this is ridiculously bullish fundamentally. 100%, guys. The technicals are screaming bearish. The fundamentals are screaming bullish. And if you want to understand what's possible over the long term, you got to understand the fundamentals. And so, yes, the fundamentals are very bullish, but it's not just the fundamentals. The technicals are starting to look bullish. Bullish divergence on the RSI when it's extremely oversold. Bullish divergence on the MACD when it's extremely oversold. Guys, this is a big deal. Look at what happened the last time Bitcoin had these bullish crossovers on the daily MACD, except this time it's much more significant because whenever you have crossovers on the extremities, on the extremes, whether oversold or overbought, it's much more significant. And Bitcoin has literally never been this oversold, having a shift from going to oversold, from bearish momentum to bullish momentum. This is a big deal. I feel like at this point, I'm seeing enough reasons to call this a local bottom. And so we may find rejection, and we can get rejected all live long day. Guys, we could break out, find a rejection off volume, find a rejection off our fib level, find a rejection off these EMAs, find a rejection off a trend line. I fully anticipate rejection when Bitcoin tries to recover. I anticipate it. Do not think it's just going to go up in a straight line forever. But as long as we keep putting in these higher lows, we can get rejected all the live long day. All these rejections won't matter as long as we keep putting in these higher lows. If we keep putting in higher lows, then the rejections don't matter because I anticipate the rejections. They're to be expected because this is significant resistance. It wouldn't make sense that we break through it the first time. Typically, the more times we test a particular level, the more likely we are to break through that level. And so, if we go up to 42K and get rejected, that's not a bad thing because if we'll just keep retesting it. And the more times we test something, the more likely we are to break through. So as long as we keep testing it and keep putting in these higher lows, nothing to be worried about. It's only once we start putting in lower lows, that's when I'll start to get worried. But as long as we keep putting in these higher lows, rejection all the live long day is nothing to be worried about because the macro trend is shifting from bearish, extremely oversold, to now bullish. And we have a bunch of bullish catalysts up ahead. So, guys, those are some of the major things going on in the market here. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Don't listen to the FUD. We have bottomed. I mean, nothing's a guarantee, but I do think so. Wilson says, I think we play out this 30-40K range for a while longer. 100%. Something that's also possible is that we could just range for weeks and months. We could range for the next 6 months. As long as we don't break below 30K, I'm not worried. Because again, what we need to understand direction is confirmation. If we look back at 2017, what did we see here? Macro lower lows. Each one of these macro lower lows served as confirmation of the bear trend, and that's what we don't want to see. We don't want to see these macro lower lows because each macro lower low we get makes it more likely that the downtrend continues. It makes it more likely that we could be entering a bear market. So as long as you remain above 30K, there's some hope. If we start to break below 30K, I start to get significantly worried. And so, yeah, that's the approach I'm currently taking with Bitcoin. But look, guys, it's not all doom and gloom. And I think there's some very, very interesting goings on with Ethereum and the altcoin. So why don't we start delving into this because there's a lot worth mentioning right now. So Ethereum is in this very, very precarious place right now. Really, we're just forming kind of this wedge formation, right? And so I think I've identified two of some of the most critical exponential moving averages that served as very significant support and resistance for Ethereum. So number one, this yellow trend line, this being the 200 exponential moving average on the 10 hour. We can see how several times it held as support during our corrections. Market's telling us this is a relevant level. And so right now we kind of peaked above it, but we couldn't hold it as support. So if Ethereum can get above 2,700, start to hold 2,700 again, then we're looking a lot more bullish as well. This white line is the 21 exponential moving average on the 6 hour. So we can see here, all throughout our impulse, we held that white line as support. As soon as we started to break down bearishly, we held that white line as resistance. The market is telling us this is a very relevant level. Look at this. All throughout our uptrend, we hold it as support. As soon as we broke below it, that's when the massive correction first began. And so we're currently testing it right now to see if we can hold it as support. So if Ethereum holds the line, basically where we're at right now, there's some hope that we could start to look more short-term bullish. But if we start to break below 2,500, then Ethereum starts to look a bit short-term bearish. So we want to remain above that. We have just over 4 hours below this before this daily candle closes. So if this daily candle can basically hold where it's at right now, hold the line, no one's selling Ethereum, not financial advice, that's a joke, not investment advice. But if we can hold above $2,500, in the next 4 hours, then that is a very, very good sign that Ethereum may be short-term bullish, because this 21 EMA on the 6 hour is, I think, one of the best EMAs for understanding whether Ethereum's short-term bullish or bearish. So we're testing that right now. If we can get above that white line and that yellow line and this fib level and this volume, basically get above 2,800. If Ethereum can get above and hold 2,800, then Ethereum could retest all-time highs, in my opinion. So those are some of the most significant things to understand with Ethereum. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Bit Squad says 50K by June 28. Elon Satoshi's 50th. Yeah, man, a lot of numbers there, a lot of dates. JM says, how are things lining up with Elliott wave theory? Well, I'm not, I'm not a super strong Elliottian. So I don't think I can comment too much when it comes to the Elliott waves. I think I honestly need to brush up on my Elliott wave. I think Elliott wave theory is one of the things I've most personally been lacking on when it comes to my technical analysis understanding. And so while I do have an understanding of Elliott wave theory, I've yet to brush up on it for quite a while, and it's actually very significant. And I have been making some efforts to learn more about Elliott wave theory as of recent. And the more I delve into it, the more I realize I'm a fool for not considering it more. Or not placing more of a significance on it. Because look, you can get away with understanding what's price reactive with EMAs, fibs, volume, and MACD, RSI, and a few other things. But again, so Elliott wave just complements your technical analysis. And so again, this is just kind of a long-winded way of saying I need to brush up on my Elliott wave, and I won't really comment on my Elliott wave until I have. Although, and just for those who don't know, Elliott wave theory basically means things move in 5 impulse waves and then have an ABC retracement. So let me see if I can find an example of an Elliott wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. I mean, okay, so this is kind of, might not be, there are some clear definitions of what is and isn't an Elliott wave, but just to kind of briefly explain for those who don't know what is and isn't an Elliott wave here. Let's see, you guys can tell I haven't been using Elliott wave much because I can't seem to find Elliott wave here on my right here. I want to put it in check. So this is kind of what an Elliott wave looks like here, and so there are rules to Elliott wave, okay, but just to kind of briefly give you guys an understanding for those who don't know what an Elliott wave theory is so what an Elliott wave is, essentially we have a 1 wave, a 2 wave, a 3 wave. 3 wave is typically the largest impulse of a 5 wave Elliott wave, and then a 4 wave and a 5 wave. And this is typically how things like to move in macro and micro patterns. And after we complete a 5 wave Elliott wave with the 3rd wave typically being the largest impulse, we have an ABC correction afterwards. And you can do this on the bullish side and the bearish side on macro and micro time frames. So Elliott wave is very interesting, and I honestly need to brush up on it more before I confidently talk to you guys about it. So that's Elliott wave. Let's see what you guys are saying here. I feel like we are in a C part. AB, maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe. If we assume, yeah, I don't know, guys. Look, anyways, let's not delve into that right now. But how much SafeMoon is needed to see a substantial return in 2 years? In my opinion, 0 SafeMoon is garbage. Meme coins are garbage. There's much faster ways to lose your money. One way is to burn it. You can burn, set your money on fire. That's maybe a more efficient way of getting rid of your money. You can donate to charity. You can go to the roulette table. There's plenty of maybe more fun and interesting ways to get rid of your money instead of these meme coins. Although that's not financial advice. That's just my personal opinion on these meme coins. They're absolute garbage. There's safer options, and then there's options with higher return on investment potential. So meme coins are the best combination of highest risk and lowest reward. It's literally the stupidest thing you could do with your money. I don't mean that to be offensive. I just, look, guys, I'll always tell you guys up front how I legitimately feel. I'm very bullish on the market, but if the market gets bearish, I'll tell you guys. If I like something, I'll tell you guys. If I don't like something, I'll tell you guys. And for me, meme coins are one of the worst decisions you can make in cryptocurrency, because they're the best combination of high risk and low reward. So yeah, it's a terrible decision, although not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And look, as a trade, look, there's further nuance to that too, because look, as a trading is a different conversation from long-term investing. Like, in specifically, since you said in 2-year returns, like SafeMoon might be not worth anything in 2 years. It might be. I could end up being wrong. I could also be wrong. I could be wrong, 100%. I could be wrong. SafeMoon could go to the moon. It could go on to do 1,000x from here. I just think that the likelihood of people making money, let me rephrase that. I think the risk is greater than the potential reward for SafeMoon. And given that we have thousands and thousands of options when it comes to investing in the crypto market, there is no need to compromise your standards, and there's no need to kind of put your money in something that's potentially very problematic when you have literally thousands of options and things that have better fundamentals and better return on investment. So that's my opinion on SafeMoon and meme coins. I got Hundo 30 on SafeMoon because hashtag why not. And yeah, here's the thing too. A lot of people put their money in meme coins just to have some fun, right? Like, sure, that's great. And there's different ways you can approach this. Like, I'm kind of approaching this in terms of like, serious long-term investing. But if you're just, having some fun, that's a different conversation. Sure, you want to throw $100 at Dogecoin just to say you own some Doge and have some fun. Sure, why not? But if we're kind of having a conversation of like serious long-term investing, I mean, come on, guys. It's a joke. Have some self-respect. Bit Squad says, if you buy 100 TN SafeMoon, you will own 16% of it. 16% of garbage is still garbage, in my opinion. So that's that. So guys, enough about these garbage coins. I want to show you guys some gorgeous coins that I like quite a lot here. So here's the thing. There's 282 people watching the live stream. Only 61 likes. That is an absolute financial crime. Once we get to over 100 likes, I'll start sharing with you guys some solid coins that I'm buying the dip on that I think have good combinations of solid fundamentals and high return on investment potential. So folks, smash that like button. Once we get to 100 likes, I'll start sharing with you guys what I am buying the dip on. 270 people watching, only 74 likes. So we could easily get to 100 likes. If just a couple of you guys more smash that like button, guys, helps out the channel. The more likes the channel gets, the more likely YouTube is to recommend the channel and the live streams. So that's that. Now, that's Ethereum. I want to see if there's anything interesting going on with Cardano here. So ultimately with Cardano, I like Cardano. I own some Cardano. I think maybe the higher return on investment plays are the Cardano ecosystem coins. And so I've been getting into a few of those. Charlie 3, for example, is one of those I've gotten into. Charlie 3 is a oracle for the Cardano ecosystem. And so once Goguen launches in August, that is one of the biggest catalysts in Cardano's history. And so Cardano and the Cardano projects are very, very likely to do well. And yes, indeed, Colin says Cardano, 100%, man. Yeah, Cardano here. So to understand what Cardano is going to do here in the short term, it's very simple. We got to remain above these 3 wicks. If we remain above these 3 wicks, we're bullish. As long as we're below this cluster of price action here from about $1.75 to about $1.90, we're bearish. If we can get above here, we can get all-time highs. If we can get to all-time highs, we can enter price discovery. Where can you pick up Charlie 3? So, guys, if you ever want to know where to buy something, it's very simple. You go to CoinGecko, you go to CoinMarketCap, you look up the coin you want to invest in, right there, it'll tell you kind of, typically it'll tell you market cap, circulation, all this good stuff. And if you scroll down, it will tell you where it's listed. You can do this with CoinMarketCap. You can do this with CoinGecko. So right now, Charlie 3 is only on Uniswap. And guys, the fees for Uniswap are dirt cheap right now. I put in a transaction, I think for less than $10 the other day. It was nothing, guys. I have been buying the dip on so much shit right now. It's not even funny. These gas fees are at rock bottom. These projects are on rock bottom, guys. We are seeing bear market discounts when the bull run may very well continue. Guys, there is tons of potential opportunity, but also plenty of risk. Guys, risk is real. As we've seen the last few weeks, risk is a very, very real thing. So don't invest in anything you're not willing to lose. Dollar cost average, if you do feel like investing. The market is still very precarious. If you wanted to play things more safe, I would wait to see if Bitcoin can get a daily candle, 2 daily candles, fully closing above 42K. That would be the safer thing to do. If you do feel a need to, invest, dollar cost averaging is probably your best approach. And also understand that I'm proceeding on the worst case scenario. Anything I'm buying right now, I'm fully willing to hold until the next bull market, likely 2024, 2025. So understand that. Guys, we're 5 likes away from 100 likes. As soon as we hit 100 likes, I'll start sharing with you guys what I am buying on the dip. So folks, smash that like button. 250 people watching, only 95 likes. I don't know, guys. You guys want me to wrap up here? Maybe we can save this, for VIP Discord members. I've been letting our VIP Discord members know what I've been buying on the dip. And guys, there's been plenty of dip buyings going on. And if you want to become a VIP Discord member, you get access through our Patreon. The link for that is down in the description below. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if you guys don't want me to continue, I can start to wrap it up here. You guys let me know. So, okay, we're over 100 likes. Enough of that nonsense. Let me start shilling you guys what I'm buying on this dip and projects that I think have a good chance of being strong performers this month and in the coming months. Specifically, I think kind of summer, late summer, around August is when we might see a new kind of DeFi rally start to kind of heat up in the market again. So these coins, I think, are solid picks for this month and solid picks over the next couple months. So without further ado, let's start shilling my gems here. So first one of my gems here is Kusama. Guys, if you have been watching the live stream, you already know what's up. But for the people who don't know, let me briefly describe why Kusama is so amazing in my opinion. The Polkadot ecosystem is very, very unique. The way the Polkadot ecosystem works, that if you want to be an interoperable, scalable Polkadot project, if you want to be a Polkadot project, you get one or two ways, 3 ways really. You get a parachain slot, which gives you 24/7 access to the Polkadot ecosystem, a parathread slot, which gives you occasional access, or you get a parachain or a parathread through Kusama. So those really are the 3 ways. Kusama is the canary chain of the Polkadot ecosystem. It's a layer built on top of Polkadot. So think of Kusama as not just another random ERC20 as it would be in the Ethereum ecosystem, but Kusama is a layer on top of the DOT ecosystem. And so I love Polkadot a lot. I love the tokenomics because, folks, there's going to be max 100 parachain slots for Polkadot. And each one of these projects need to buy up a shit ton of Polkadot and lock it up for years. So very soon here, when parachains start in the near future, next couple of weeks, next couple of months, we're going to have dozens and dozens of projects buying up shit tons of Polkadot to lock them up for years. And so maybe none of us are economists here, but can anyone kind of theorize what might happen in price action when demand all of a sudden spikes through the roof sustainably and supply all of a sudden leaves the space, the market for years? Price may go up. And so if you like Polkadot, you should love Kusama, because Kusama is essentially the same thing as Polkadot, except it has a lower market cap and lower supply, thus potentially a higher return on investment potential. So Kusama is my favorite combination of something that's safe and solid and proven and likely to survive a bear market and be here the next 5-10 years, that also has a high return on investment potential because specifically of these parachains. Dozens and dozens of projects are going to buy tens of millions of dollars to lock them up for years. Guys, there's a giant problem with the Polkadot ecosystem, with Kusama specifically, and that problem is a lack of supply. And when demand increases and supply decreases, I'm not an economist, but that's a recipe for making price go up. So not financial advice, but I've been buying the shit out of Kusama, and I've been staking it on Kraken, earning 12% compounding interest. So guys, if you're holding for a couple months, might as well earn some interest. Kraken offers 12% paid out weekly. There's no lockups, and it's compounding, so that's fantastic. As well, just to kind of understand what's happening here in the short term, we're trying to flip this 100 exponential moving average on the daily from resistance into support. And so if we do indeed do that, that is a very, very good sign. So really, we need to hold above 350. If Kusama can get a daily candle closing above 350, 355, that's a very good sign, because we can see here very price reactive level, and that's exact. And even here we found rejection off it. Here support, here rejection, very price reactive level. If the daily in the next 4 hours closes above 350, 355, that's a good sign that Kusama could be short-term bullish. So that's Kusama. That's my number one pick here. So Bob Franklin says, I have DOT staked on Kraken. Yeah, same situation too. You can stake your DOT for, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 12%. They pay it out weekly. It's compounding. No lockup periods. Great opportunity. Chad says, Chad says, you have any thoughts on Convergence Finance? I'm honestly not too familiar. Ruthwick says, what about DOT? So I actually don't own any DOT. And the reason why I don't own any DOT is because while I like DOT, because Kusama is essentially the same thing. Well, they're very similar. They do the same thing. But because Kusama is a lower market cap, lower supply version of Polkadot, I think Kusama has a much higher return on investment potential. So if Polkadot's to stick around, I think Kusama has a pretty good chance of maybe outperforming Polkadot. Maybe even forever, because again, it's just a lower supply, lower market cap version of Polkadot. They do the same thing. So I think Kusama has a very good chance of outperforming Polkadot. So that's why I don't own any Polkadot and I own Kusama instead. Yes, Kusama is the testnet for Polkadot. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so with that's it. Yeah. So think of Kusama like pre-Ethereum 2.0 and Polkadot post-Ethereum 2.0. So basically, Kusama is kind of like the untested, unproven blockchain, and Polkadot is after things have kind of been hashed out and things are working. That's later where improvements go. So Kusama also cheaper parachains as well. So there's plenty of reasons to kind of like Kusama. I like Kusama a lot, and Polkadot and Kusama do very, very similar things. So if Polkadot's likely to do well, Kusama's likely to do well. So that's Kusama. Moving on here. Synthetics, folks. Synthetics. BTC is dropping. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh no, it's panic. Folks, it's time to panic sell. Not financial advice. Do not take it seriously. So guys, synthetics. It is the leader in the derivatives niche. We are down substantially from all-time highs. So if we measure from all-time highs and now, we're down 57%. We corrected 67%. Bear market discounts in what could potentially be still a bull market. Folks, as long as we hold a line on this green support line here, this could be the mother of all bull flags. And so if this does indeed being a bull flag, if we do indeed one day break above this red trend line, we could go to $40, $45 in my opinion. So guys, synthetics is the leader in the derivatives niche. If crypto is too mature as an asset class, derivatives, which are fancy trading instruments, are likely to grow as well alongside it. And so synthetics being the leader in that niche, I think has a good chance of capitalizing on the adoption and the mainstreamed growth of cryptocurrency. So very bullish on synthetics. This is down quite a lot. You can stake this on Celsius, earning, I think it's like between 13 and 15% compound interest paid out weekly. So, I mean, if you plan on hodling this for long term, might as well earn some compounding interest as well. So highly recommend you keep synthetics on your watch list and on your radar. Very bullish on this thing long term. It's kind of a high capper, more of a solid play. Another kind of high capper solid play that I like a lot is Terra Luna. Guys, when it comes to the high caps, when it comes to the good coins out there, this one is one that's dumped quite a lot. 72% currently down from all-time highs, and dumped 82% from all-time highs. Guys, the worst of what's possible already happened, and we may still be in a bull market. Folks, not financial advice, but I've definitely been buying the dip on Terra Luna here. And if we kind of zoom into the short term, what I want to see with Terra Luna is hold above that volume. I want to hold above $6. I want to hold above $6, basically $6. I want to hold above $6. Because if we hold above 6 or above that volume, it's a good sign. And so in terms of finding an entry here in the short term, well, I drew a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of the impulse to the top. And so what I'm saying here is kind of anywhere from 550 to about 650 is where I would be buying. But more specifically, on here on the 0.5, from about 590 to about 620 is where I've been buying. And look, we can see how Luna is ranging a lot right now. So I mean, honestly, any kind of dip I'd be buying. Luna is a project that I think has a very, very good chance of surviving a bear market, coming back next time and making new all-time highs and vastly surpassing it. So we're seeing bear market discounts in what could still be a bull market. So guys, like we're talking about percentages here. We're still down tremendously, around 70% from all-time highs. We still have a good chance of reaching all-time highs and surpassing them this year. So fuck a couple percentage points. I've been buying. Well, I was about to say I've been market buying, but I wasn't. I placed limit orders here in this green box, and so my limit orders got filled. And so, literally right now is where I would be buying, because literally right now is where I've been buying. So Alexander says here, this channel makes me confident about my future in crypto. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And look, guys, the reason why I like to hate on meme coins is because meme coins, again, are highly risky. And so things like Terra Luna, all these coins I've been mentioning, have plenty of return on investment potential, but also have a very good chance of surviving a bear market. So even if you buy now, not financial advice, in worst case scenario, we crash even more, something like Terra Luna, something like Kusama, something like Synthetics have a very, very good chance of surviving a bear market, coming back next time around, reaching all-time highs, and vastly surpassing it. So I want to give you guys picks that I think have plenty of upside potential here in the short term, but even if we enter a bear market, have a very good chance of surviving and coming back and making new all-time highs and earning price discovery. Guys, you gotta smash that like button. We're constantly bringing you guys gold. I've been talking about Synthetics ever since it was like $4, $6, $7. We were talking about Matic Polygon ever since it was 2 cents. We were talking about BNB ever since it was under $10. You guys got to stay tuned to this channel. Bull market or bear market, we're here to stay. And guys, honestly, well, I don't want a bear market to come quite just yet, and I do think we might be in a 2013, 2014 scenario where we have a double top. Guys, the bear market is where the true millionaires are made, where the true wealth is made. So don't leave, because most people are going to leave, but that's what you want. Folks, you want to buy from pessimists and sell to optimists. You want to buy when something's crashing and burning and nobody wants to touch it, because if that thing can stick around over the long term and there's good long-term fundamentals, then that thing can recover. You want to be buying at the peak of fear when there's fires and horses are in the streets and they're startled. That's what you want to be buying. And so the bear market has the most opportunity. You can make money in the bull market, sure. I think there's still plenty of money to be made if the bull market continues. But the bear market, which I think will eventually come, and hopefully if you guys keep following this channel, I'll share with you guys my thoughts on whether I think we're going in a bull market, bear market, major trend shifts on long term. So stay tuned in this channel, guys. And yeah, I just want to share with you guys that opportunity. Don't you leave, because I know a lot of people will leave, but if a few guys can stay, guys, the bear market is where it's at. BidMoon with a $2, $3 super chat, thank you for the support, says, can you take a look at RLC? Sure, we'll take a look at RLC, but let me just hammer through the rest of my picks here, because we're about RLC. This one here? Yeah, I'll take a look. But let's there's two picks left here, so I kind of want to give you guys 3 more kind of high cap, more solid picks, and then now I kind of want to share with you guys some more newer projects, low market cap, a bit more unproven, a bit more risky. And so one of my picks here is Super Farm. Guys, NFTs. NFTs have had a massive hype wave and a massive bubble burst. These NFT projects have crashed into nothingness. They've burned. Everyone has lost their money. People have gotten shaken out. People have capitulated. People are angry. People have lost all hope. It is crashing and burning. There's blood in the streets. There's fires. Horses are startled. And that is the best time to be buying, because I think NFTs are here to stay. And so while there's plenty of great, fantastic NFT projects, and I can mention half a dozen, I just kind of chose one out of a dozen good ones out there. And I think Superfarm is one of these projects that has long-term staying potential. So we have a project with long-term staying potential and a niche that has long-term staying potential. When it's crashed in nothingness, nobody wants to touch it. which is the best time to be buying. Not to mention that we're down 83% from all-time highs, a bear market correction, and what could still very well be a bull market, guys. For me, this is a screaming opportunity, and I'm honestly highly tempted to buy more right now on this live stream. I already have plenty, so I'm not going to buy more, but I'm highly tempted to buy more because, guys, 83% down from all-time highs. The worst of what's possible already happened. And so I think this project is going to stick around over the long term. NFTs are going to stick around over the long term. And so given that we've corrected the vast majority of what's possible, this is a screaming opportunity in my book. So guys, I'm dollar cost averaging. We've corrected. Let's measure how much we were down from all-time highs. 91%. We corrected 91% from all-time highs, guys. There's plenty of great NFT projects out there. Another one that's great that I'll share with you guys that I've been buying the dip on, and I bought this thing yesterday, is Eternity. Another project that's kind of going for NFT mass adoption. All right, they have an NFT marketplace, lots of big names. They corrected 96% from all-time highs. Guys, this is a bear market. This is an NFT bear market. I literally might just buy some more right now. We're currently down 90% from all-time highs. I might buy some more right now, to be honest. 90% from all-time highs. What's the worst case scenario? It corrects another 5% from all-time highs? Guys, come on. These are screaming opportunities. When things have crashed and burned and nobody wants to touch them, that's the best time to be buying. And so, you know, Superfarm's down 83% from all-time highs. Eternity is down 90% from all-time highs. Oof. Does that look like a screaming buy? I bought more live on the live stream the other day when I was talking about it because this kind of correction on a solid project with long-term staying power is just so enticing. Guys, 91%. I'm fighting the urge to buy some more right now. Okay, let me move on before I buy more because I've already bought a lot, but guys, this is... So, okay, I'll move on here because I'm going to get myself in trouble. I've already bought like a ton. So, another project that is a screaming opportunity that I've been buying the dip on is Armor Finance. And guys, these are all examples of things that have better... I know don't you tempt me, BitBoon. I see you in the comments here. Don't you tempt me because I will buy it. I can't. I'm trying to hold out, guys. There's so many good projects. I'm trying to hold out until Bitcoin goes above 42K or some more opportunities arise elsewhere. So yes, don't tempt me because I really want to buy some more, but maybe I'll wait. So here's the thing. Armor Finance. It's an insurance play that pays you for buying insurance. Guys, something like this is perfect for a bull market because the more money people make, the more people come in, the more whales come in with their shit tons of money. Insurance plays are going to start to look more and more attractive. So if the bull run continues, something that gives you protection on all the money you've been making becomes more and more attractive. And so this thing's down 75% from all-time highs. It's solid fundamentals. I think this thing has long-term staying power, and we're currently sitting right on support with our white trend lines here. So we've had a substantial correction, a bear market sale, and what still could be a bull market sitting right on support. Guys, if this isn't a screaming buy, I don't know what is. Now, I have a high risk tolerance. I'm willing to hold years. That might not be the case with you, so just please proceed with caution. And at the end of the day, I could be wrong. All these things I mentioned could go to zero. I don't think they will, and I'm betting that they won't, but they may very well. So just please proceed with caution. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Hopefully, if you get excited as I am, you do your own research and come with your own investment strategy and your own plan. Don't just blindly do what I do, because at the end of the day, while I do see opportunity and potential, nothing's a guarantee, and I could end up being wrong. So it's very simple. This thing pays you in their native cryptocurrency for buying insurance. As more people make more money, insurance is going to become more attractive. So as the bull run continues, this thing will look more and more attractive. This is a no-brainer. We're sitting on support. We're down 75% from all-time highs. Bear market sale and what could be a bull market. Those are my top 5 picks for not only this month, but for the next several months as well. I've bought the dip on pretty much all of these that I've mentioned. And so that's that. That's that, folks. That's my list for June. So we had that super chat here. I don't want to forget you, BitMoon. So let's take a look here at RLC Excel. So I'm actually not familiar. Let's take a look at the chart. It's pumped a lot. It's not good. Okay, it's on on some. Oh, it's on Binance. Okay. What is this thing? What do they do? RLC. It is high in market cap. How do I not know these guys? What do they do? Let's go to the chart here. So let me look up the chart while we're waiting for that to load. What is it? What's the ticker again? RLC. Okay, let's take a look. RLC. Let's see. RLC. The first decentralized marketplace for cloud resources. Interesting. Decentralized storage is 100% needed because, guys, we're really sleeping on this Web3 narrative. Web3 being kind of the next global decentralized internet yeah, basically that. And so a decentralized network giving applications access to trusted off-chain computation and data. This is very interesting. Things like Filecoin, things like Arweave and IX here, which is, I think, seemingly in the same niche, I think are going to be very needed going forward. But I honestly think, this bull run is going to be the bull run of DeFi. And the next bull run will be the bull run of kind of Web3 and kind of decentralized storage. Because, guys, what's the point of creating decentralized protocols and blockchains if you're storing the information on centralized servers? These decentralized file storage protocols are 100% absolutely necessary for true decentralization. So that's what crypto is going for. And so these decentralized storage plays are absolutely necessary for this ecosystem. So things like Filecoin, things like Arweave, and now something like this apparently are definitely niches worth looking into. And so I've actually been deeply neglecting that decentralized file storage niche. And so I think that's kind of like the next major niche I would move into, because I actually don't own anything in decentralized file storage or just decentralized storage, although I should. Something like Filecoin, Arweave are just some of the big players that pop into my mind. And so I think this, I don't know, I'm not too familiar, but this is 100% an absolutely necessary niche. And so if we can take a look here at the price structure, well, first thing I want to do right off the bat is I want to draw a Fibonacci retracement. So we typically draw Fibonacci retracements from the bottom of an impulse to the top, roughly. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but if you can get it mostly perfect. And so, perfect. We're sitting on the 786. That's very good to see. Also, zooming in the short term, I can very clearly just see a pattern, a few patterns that we're forming here. I think we're kind of forming a bit of a macro descending triangle, which we may be trying to break out of right the fuck now. So this is actually extremely interesting. So I think what's happening here is pretty clear. Major critical support from about $4.50, I'd say $4.60 just to include our Fibonacci level. So from $4.60 to about $4 is the critical inflection point that basically needs to hold that as support. Because if we don't hold that as support, then the bear trend could continue for quite a while longer. Although, if you like this in long term, I mean, hey, it's already down. Let's measure how much from all-time highs. It's already a lot, I bet you. Look at this. Yeah, 70, yeah, about 72% from all-time highs. So it's, again, bear market discount, what could still be a bull market. Now, if we see bullish divergence, if we can break out bullishly, if we can get above and hold $6, then we can impulse up to kind of $8. And if we can break above $8, then I think we can go kind of $11. We can go to $11, we can go all-time highs. So, guys, there's, that's kind of rough, and there's multiple layers of resistance above us. But basically what I'm seeing here is a descending triangle where we're trying to break out right now. Major support $4.60 to $4. And if we can get above $8, then we could see bullish continuation. So that's what's going on with that. Guys, don't be shilling WhatsApps in the comments. All right, guys, please don't be scamming, and please don't fall for scams, guys. We will never reach out to you. We will never DM you and ask you to invest with us. All right, guys, we will never ask you for money or information. Please never fall for scams, people. So Leonard says this is really great. This is a really great video, but as for me, I make huge profits on my investments since I started trading with. Yeah, okay. That's a scammer. So see, Leonard Smirnoff, that's an example of a scammer. Please do not fall for scammers. That's that. So yeah, guys, those are pretty much all my picks here. And if you guys don't have any questions, I think I might start to wrap it up here in a moment. Now there are, quite a few other things we could take a look at. Someone says Elron. Sure, we'll take a look here at Elron. Elron's always very interesting. I actually own a bit of Elron. I wish I could own more, but I wish I could own everything, but you cannot, unfortunately. So right now, oof, right off the bat, we're holding the 618 Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, as long as we hold the line here, ooh, very good sign. So if we can hold 98, very good sign. But really, we want to get above 100. If Elrond can hold 100, that's a very, very good sign. Very good sign. If Elrond can hold 100, then Elrond can test 120, 126. So that's what I'm saying with Elrond. I like Elrond. Elrond for me, bottom line, long term hold. Like, if you were to buy it right now, it could crash a shit ton more. Elrond's one of these picks that's going to be around the next bull run. We're down 59% from all-time highs. We corrected 73. I mean, guys, Elrond, in my opinion, has one of the best chances of surviving a bear market, coming around next time, reaching all-time highs and vastly surpassing it again. So whether the bull market continues now or breaks down, we enter a bear market, Elrond's going to be here for the long term, in my opinion. So I really like Elrond a lot. Philip says, as a new investor, I start... Guys, you gotta, can you ban these scammers? Yeah, no, I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to ban these scammers. So, guys, look, those are pretty much all my thoughts here. It's a nice day. I think I want to get out in the sunshine and not stare at a screen for, continually. So, guys, look, I really appreciate all you guys being here, showing all your support. Smash that like button. Really appreciate you guys. And also, I cannot finish a live stream without chilling our VIP Discord group, because we bring so much value to you guys in our regular videos, but also our VIP Discord group. They know what we're buying and when. We have plenty of resources there, and we're going to make some big changes in the near future. So, guys, the people who got in early will highly benefit from being early, and I'm going to try and convince Messin to start sharing with you guys some details, because we keep saying there's going to be changes, and there will be, but I want to share details with you guys because I'm excited about the changes we're bringing, and the people that got in early will... I mean, guys, I'll finish off with this. It pays to be early. Go become a Patreon member and a VIP Discord member before these changes come. Link for that is down in the description below. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to try and drag Messin into one of these live streams one of these days, because he is out in France right now. He's out there gem hunting. But, we definitely want to have him back. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here. Until next time, take care.